Hello and welcome to Salam Namaste. Broadcasting live from the Now Media TV studios in Houston, this is Saji Salam. This evening we have a very unique guest on the show. We have with us Pranav Kapoor from Kannauj, India, which is the perfume capital of India. Pranav is a eighth generation perfumer, founder of PKAPO and perfume tourism in India. Pranav, welcome to the show.
Hi Saji, how are you? Very good evening from India.
Thanks for joining, Pranav. Let's dive right in. Maybe we'll start with a self introduction and then talk more about your family's ties to perfumery and then go from there.
Sure. So basically, I am from the perfume capital, which is Kannauj. My family has been in the perfume business for about 200 years. I'm the eighth generation, and we have essentially been distilling essential oils and exporting them to all the countries in the world since the 1950s. And Kannauj being the ancient capital of India as well. So rose, jasmine, these are things that basically grow. And I am also a trained chef. I obviously, fragrance is something that I grew up around. It's in my DNA. Then I went ahead and trained as a chef because, like I was always attracted to the scents that came from the kitchen. And having done that, I started my own company called Indian Naturals first. And then I went and founded Perfume Tourism and also PKAPO. Just a little brief of the overall thing.
Mhm. Interesting. So your family has been in the business of creating perfumes for over 200 years now, and then you're the eighth generation in that business. But you also have experience and interest in gastronomy, and that is where your path as a chef crossed with your traditional business in perfumery, and so that's where you are with this new venture. Very interesting story, Pranav. So let's talk a little bit about how attar or the Indian perfume is made. What goes into that process?
So, Saji, essentially, it has always been flowers, roots, and spices. These have been the broader terms when it comes to distillation. And Kannauj, being on the banks of the Ganges, has a really fertile soil. So it was very suitable for growing of roses, jasmine, vetiver, and back in the day, even sandalwood. And we all know Indian sandalwood is really, really famous, and its quality is far superior than any other sandalwood in the world. So the distillation process basically is a traditional deg and bhabka method is what we call it in Hindi. And what it does is basically steam distillation where water and a base being sandalwood oil is added, and you distill the flower, the root, or the herb. You apply heat to it. When the steam rises, it passes through a channel and cools down in the basically in the form of condensation. And all the material used in it is copper. And this is a very ancient traditional method that has been going on for over 1,000 years. Like we have everything that we know today about this method has been just passed down through generations, like so much so that when you saw that in the video, the guy was sealing the still with the mud. So that mud is called Multani Mitti, right? It's basically fuller's earth, is what we call it in English, right? And that mud is mixed with cotton so that it basically becomes a very good sealant for the still, and because the pressure is high when heat is applied and you don't want any explosion. So now the similarity of this is how you would basically make a dum biryani, right? You would seal the vessel. So essentially you're cooking the oil. That's what you're doing. You're cooking the fragrance. Like the method is that, and then of course condensation happens, and that's how you collect the liquid, the water. And then later on, the water and the oil is separated using a separating funnel. So that's in broad terms what the method tails. But I think the interesting bit about this is that it is uh, the entire process of this perfumery that exists in Kannauj even today is all done by hand. Like from the time the flowers, the flower pickers, pick the flowers in the morning and get them to the still, like as you're seeing right now. Yeah, like that. So since then, to everything is done by hand. This guy is transporting the flowers now to the distillery, and then they arrive in the distillery. They are sorted out. They are given some, air, and then yeah, in the still it goes.
Hmm. And I think this is, like you said, this is very labor intensive and it sticks to the traditional methods. And a key set of people here are the Degbazis, right? I don't know if I'm
Yes.
saying that right, but these are the critical people involved in the process. Could you talk a little bit about the role of the Degbazis and who they are and what they do?
So the Degbas are the backbone of this. Without them, none of this is possible. They are the real masters of the process. Like it's because of them we are who we are today, essentially. Now, these are people who have generationally been trained. Now, I don't know how far this goes back, but it's a generational business even for the Degbas. It takes immense practice of the art to fine tune how to do this process because it's fully analog. There is no instrument, there is no machinery, even when the heat is applied, because like certain flowers, for example, rose needs a lot of heat, right? While jasmine, on the other hand, doesn't need so much heat to
Three,
basically distill it. So the
three.
Degbas exactly know how much of heat is to be applied. And how do they know that? They basically listen to the sound of the still. So once it starts making a sizzling sound, they know whether the heat needs to be increased or decreased. Now, these are things that you can only learn on the job, and there is no manual for it. It's literally you are thrown into the distillery, you work every day, and you figure it out. And of course, there is always somebody senior who knows who's been there. Like for this Ram Singh, for that matter, Ram Singh's been with the family for over 30 years. You know, so now every new person that comes in is trained under Ram Singh to basically further this craft.
Mhm.
There,
So basically, what you're saying is that the skills are passed on from generation to generation through the Degbasis, and so they know more than anybody what best to do. So that's an amazing story by itself. And let me jump to another video here, Jabani cut to 3C, where this is about jasmine. And from what I learned, that jasmine is distilled at night. I don't know enough, but could you speak to this jasmine distillation, which happens at night? Is that
right. So basically, the thing is, with flowers again, it's about the fragrance that a flower
3C?
holds, right? And jasmine, now the season, in fact, for jasmine has kind of started. It starts in the summer months. And jasmine needs the heat of the day for the bud to slightly open. Like we don't want the bud to be fully open because once it does, then it's basically used for the temple because a lot of the fragrance content is then evaporated in the air. So the bud has to be like slightly, just like this much open, and this only happens during the evening. So it needs the heat of the day for the bud to slightly open. By 5:30, the pickers are there. They are plucking the jasmine. It gets sorted, collected, and it kind of arrives in the distillery at around 8 o'clock, 8:30, and then the jasmine is spread out, is given some air, and into the still it goes at 9 p.m. And this process will basically take about 6 hours, so I think it would last somewhere around like 2:33 is when the distillation is done. And because the heat that needs to be applied in the jasmine is low, we use a lot of cow dung to fuel the stills. So mango wood is not used, but I mean a little bit of the mango wood, but then a lot of the cow dung cakes are used as biofuel for this,
Mhm.
for the jasmine.
So
So you see, in some way, it's very sustainable because you know what happens is when the flowers are removed the next day, whatever is left over goes to the cows as fodder, and then their dung is essentially used to fuel the fire as well.
Mhm. So with so what I'm learning is that even depending on the flower, the process is a little different. So it's not the same process irrespective of the flower. So now for jasmine, you seem to be using a different time of the day. You're using a different type of fuel. So there is a lot of nuances involved in this process. It's not a one size fits all. Is that accurate assessment of this?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there's one more thing. So there is this fragrance called shamama. Now, shamama is the culmination of 27 herbs and spices that form one scent. Now, this scent was always favored by the Nawabs of Oud and the Nawab of Hyderabad. So each and every perfume house in Kannauj has their own unique recipe for shamama, right? Now, shamama basically needs 5 days of distillation. So first it will be in the big still, and then it will slowly cook on the smaller stills for the next, 3 to 4 days. So that has a different one. Jasmine
Mhm.
has a different one. Rose has a different one. One size does not fit all. They're
Okay,
all different. The
interesting.
seasons are different. The fragrance is different.
Mhm. It's been an interesting conversation so far, Pranav. Let's come back and discuss more after a short commercial break.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company that time you spend with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with the high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.
Hi, I am Noura Al-Masri and welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Join me on a journey where we celebrate the power of women in business, the driving force behind growing nonprofits, and the architects of change in our community. We'll explore strategies for building successful businesses, increasing cash flow, and saving on taxes. Tune in to Echoes of Impact with Noura, because when women succeed, we all thrive. See you there.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Welcome back as we continue this fascinating conversation with Pranav on the nuances of making a perfume the good old way in Kannauj, India. So Pranav, let's talk a little bit about Indian Naturals, the company where you started to bring some of this together. So maybe we talk about your experience with Indian Naturals and what you were doing.
Saji, Indian Naturals is where it all started with. It was the first company that I formed, graduating from college. And since I went to culinary school, that's where I realized, like in my first year itself, the similarities between fragrance and flavor. You know, you're using the same ingredients. The way you balance a recipe is how you balance a formulation. And so when I graduated, I set up this firm called Indian Naturals so I could basically start supplying to the hospitality industry because I was already, trained there. And that's what I did. And I started making edible oils, mixology, things for mixology, for the bar, for cocktails, how we infuse essential oils in food and flavor. And this is something that basically started in 2010. And that was the first, that was my first company, my first child, my baby, as you would call it. So this is very special because that's where the journey actually started. Then we moved towards perfume tourism in 2017, 7 years into it, which finally launched in 2023. And now we have PKAPO. That's the third thing that's launching.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about perfume tourism. I think it is very interesting to note that probably you're the only one or one of the more prominent companies that conducts these tours. So could you talk about perfume tourism and what do you mean by that and how you go about with it?
So perfume tourism is something that's very, very close to me because this it has a larger impact. And this is something that I'll get into in a minute. And perfume tourism is something that I thought of in 2017, where I was actually on a holiday in Rajasthan. And I had a great experience where I was. And I just decided that this is something that we could do there, like how we can combine my ancestry, my legacy, and the history of Kannauj with fragrance, with that of basically putting a spotlight on it, And tourism, as we know, brings about great boons for the industry or any city in terms of development and, taking it forward. So that's when the idea was born. It took about 6 years to do it because we had 3 years of COVID from 2020, from 2020 to 2022. So things got delayed. And finally in 23, in March is when I launched it. Now, perfume tourism basically is an immersive experience into the rich history and culture of Kannauj. Uh, where we welcome guests. I have a 120-year-old Haveli, which I've converted as part of an experience for perfume tourism. So we welcome guests, we take them to the rose farms, we take them to the flower fields where they take part in the flower plucking process. Then we take them to the distillery where we show them the distillation process, as we were speaking, which has been historic and unchanged for over 1,000 years. Then we bring them back to the fragrance gallery where we have a perfume bar where guests can create their own signature scent. And having done that, then they can basically, we move them to a dining area where there is a 7 course fragrance and flavor pairing menu where each course is basically an ingredient in perfumery. So this is how we blended my, expertise as a chef and my lineage as, as a perfumer and my family into one thing to basically put the spotlight on Kannauj and turn this city around into a tourist destination, something that I didn't have while growing up, and also securing the future of the industry, for generations to come. Because once there is a spotlight, when there is enough footfall in a city for tourism, we know that there is so many, plus points that come. The employment rates go up. There is overall development in the city, and just a general sense of upliftment. So this is something that will secure the legacy of Kannauj, something that got lost in time because Kannauj is an ancient city that dates back to 3000 BC and was the capital of India. It is also the birthplace of chess. And Germany did this research and, and traced it back to Kannauj. So there are so many things there that which got lost in time that need to be revived. So perfume tourism is that medium. And through that, we will touch on every point on the art, the craft, the stone carving, the terracotta, all of it. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole bigger picture for
Okay.
perfume tourism.
So, how is the government of Uttar Pradesh and the tourism department of Uttar Pradesh working with you on this? This is, Kannauj is a historic city. There's tourism aspects to that too. How are they working with this? And Giovanni, could you cut to 4A video? Um, Pranav, could you talk to the role of
Yeah.
the tourism department?
So the government has been very supportive. We are basically in the uh, middle of organizing a yearly festival, a flower festival. That's going to be an annual event of international stature.
Next.
And also in terms of administration, in terms of development of certain, aspects of Kannauj, the historic landmarks, they've been very proactive. They've also been basically sending me to all these travel shows, where I get a chance to meet all agents, international agents that bring tourists to the country to basically talk about perfume tourism and Kannauj and to make them add that in the itinerary for the visitors. So through that, and as well as press, they've helped me a lot in press and getting the word out to a lot of magazines and articles. So in fact, I will be participating in another of these events held soon, and plus we are working on an international tour as well, where UP Tourism will sponsor the travel, where we can go and talk about perfume tourism and Kannauj on a global platform with the travel industry internationally. So it's been great. It's actually been great. And this 1 year that we've started, I mean, of course, I expected it to do well, but it's got on like wildfire. And that's something that I am absolutely grateful for. And yeah, something that I did not expect at all.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. So to sum up, basically, the tourists, the moment they land in Kannauj, they are taken to your ancestral home. Then they get a tour of the perfume distillery, and then they also get an experience of the food and basically food and flavors and also get to see Kannauj. So that's kind of the summary of the experience that you provide as part of perfume tourism. Is there something I'm missing here?
No, you got it absolutely on point. And of course, there is the perfume bar experience where they can create their own scent, right? And Saji, something like this is not happening anywhere in the world. You know, like I have you come across something like this? Because I haven't. So
No,
I
no,
am
I
in
haven't.
some sense very
So
proud
I
that this
was
small little
sorry.
hamlet.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you were saying?
No, I haven't. And Pranav, that was really unique about what you do because I haven't come across any. I've traveled the world, but I haven't seen anywhere that these two things come together. So it's just
Right.
it's a very unique experience for tourists. So I'll definitely be visiting Kannauj because of this, because of perfume tourism. Because it packages all of this in one one place. So it's great that you are putting this together. So we'll talk a little bit about the integration of fragrance and flavor, which is your new venture, which is also really exciting, and I'm I would love to hear more about that, Pranav.
So the fragrance and flavor bit, there are two aspects to it. One is the dining experience, of course, where we are taking a notch to the people, right? Uh, so this is in an effort to basically market Kannauj, and how does it reach to people around the country who don't even yet know that their country has this place called Kannauj, which is the perfume capital, and this is the place that has been like exporting everything and known for its fragrances. So what I do is we do a little fragrance and flavor a dining experience across cities where we pair each course with a stage in the perfume making process. So right from something that the first course is soil, for example, right, which is growing the ingredient. And then the second course is bloom. Now that now the ingredient is blooming. So like this, we have 5 courses. So it's a farm to bottle menu. So at the end of it, you have a finished cologne in terms of, the dining experience. So we take that, and through this, because we've always been a business to business, for generations, and this is what Indian Naturals used to do. Then came around PKAPO, which is a gourmet perfumery. So now it's basically a brand that I'm launching in the form of fragrances, which is inspired from my culinary journey and my perfume heritage.
This is very interesting, Pranav. Let's come back and talk more about PKAPO, what got you there, how and much more about PKAPO as we come back after this commercial break.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company that time you're spent with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with a high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993
2096 right now. That's 855 993 2096.
Welcome back to this exciting discussion about perfumes in India. And Pranav, let's continue the conversation about PKAPO, where you are combining fragrance and flavor.
Yeah, Saji. So PKAPO essentially, uh, it's a short for my name, which is Pranav Kapoor, and the brand is a gourmet perfumery where the scents are inspired from my culinary journey, right? So the similarities between fragrance and flavor is what we are trying to show in PKAPO. PKAPO extends beyond a product as well and gets into a lifestyle, a way of being, and obviously flavor directly. So, the couple of the things that we're launching, for example, one of the scents is whiskey and rose. Now, the whiskey and rose scent, of course, has notes of whiskey, it has rose, and it has vanilla. So, there are two elements of food. Now, rose itself is used in food, where we use, we make a rose jam. We use it in pan as gulkan, which is very famous as a mouth freshener in India. And the rose water is used in biryanis. It's used a lot in the mutton, in the cooking of mutton. So, when we basically take the fragrance of it and we basically take them out for the flavor aspect, we have a whole sit down course that comes through. So for the whiskey one, we'll basically have a whiskey pairing with one of the local Indian brands, which is Indri whiskey, and yeah, and then we basically pair that with a cocktail and the fragrance
Mm-hmm.
essentially.
So for your so let's say a guest at who is signed up for perfume tourism comes in, they get a dinner where you're using some of these ingredients in the food, right? I mean, so you just mentioned rose water, rose jam, and those items, and then you also use whiskey, and that is the and the perfume will have a combination of uh, all this. Is that uh,
Yeah, that's correct,
understanding?
Sari. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens essentially is that in each course there is a star ingredient. Now that star ingredient is also used in a fragrance. So when a guest is coming to experience that, which is why they're at the perfume bar first. At the perfume bar, they're identifying each and every ingredient. They are creating their scent. They're working with it. They're smelling it. And now, post the perfume bar experience, we're going to take them to taste each and every ingredient almost. Well, not all of them, but seven of them at least that they have worked around with or smelled. So, for example, if there's cardamom, then there is a mutton dish that we make, lamb, which is cooked over 4 hours in a terracotta vessel on coal, where the star ingredient is cardamom. It has the flavor of cardamom. And so basically, there are various of these courses. The other one, which is very popular, is this orange curry. Now, orange as a citrus is a very, very common ingredient in fragrances. All your top designer fragrances would have a top or a middle note as orange. So we have an orange curry that basically comes with cottage cheese. It's reduced with jaggery and fresh coconut milk, and added some onion seeds and curry leaves as your spice, and yeah, served with cottage cheese. So these are basically this is how we are pairing the fragrance and the flavor.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, and I think I remember reading somewhere about turmeric being incorporated into the scents. So could you talk a little bit about how you use turmeric?
Right. So turmeric, Saji, is a very basic ingredient for all Indian cooking, right? It's an antiseptic. It's great as an aromatherapy oil as well, and very good for your system too. So I created this scent for the Maharaja of Udaipur since he wanted a signature scent, and the brief was a cool summer breeze that wafts through Lake Pichola on a hot summer day. So to create that fragrance, of course, I used a lot of elements like vetiver, a little bit of oak moss, and but the star ingredient in that was turmeric. So now the turmeric oil has a very distinct, sharp, and fresh citrusy smell almost. Something that when you eat it, you won't get. So there are a lot of things that smell different and taste slightly different. And turmeric is one of them. So the
Mhm.
star ingredient in that was turmeric. I had presented a couple of options to the Maharaja as, which one would he like? And he picked the one which had turmeric. So
Mhm. Very, very,
yeah,
very,
and
very, very
it's
interesting.
a
Yeah, very interesting take on turmeric there, Pranav. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other states and some of the food slash flavors in those states in India. So, for instance, as part of your tours, you've been to Kashmir, where saffron is the key crop in Kashmir. So how do you incorporate saffron, for instance, in your perfumes?
So, Saji, it's also about marking a fragrance trail. Now, India itself is has all the ingredients. We've got the spices down south. We've got the sandalwood. We've got the oud. Everybody loves oud. We've got the oud from Assam, and we have the saffron and lavender in Kashmir. So, part of the plan is also to mark a fragrance trail across the country where people can experience all the various aspects of fragrance that India has to offer. And saffron, of course, is not just a great perfume ingredient, but it's also amazing when it comes to food and dessert for that matter. Indian dessert has so much of saffron usage. Indian curries, your butter chicken, and all the masala tikkas, all of them have a lot of use of saffron. And in the perfume bit of it, the sharp sweetness that the oil has works really well in a spice fragrance. And one of the fragrances that we are launching, Alter Ego, it has rose and saffron, along with the mimosa and cypress as its notes.
Mhm. Very, very interesting conversation. Pranav, so how do viewers purchase these products from you? Do they come to your store in Kannauj? How do they, or they buy it online? How do they go about with the purchase of these products from
So
PKAPO?
as of now, people have to come to Kannauj or they reach out to me on Instagram or they find or they send me an email. But we are launching the brand PKAPO finally with I mean it took a really long time to get because packaging takes a lot of time. The fragrances we've got down, but the packaging just takes really long. So we are happy with what we're putting out and by the end of this month we'll have our website live and where people can, uh, buy it online as well. But I would always prefer them to come down to Kannauj because, you can buy fragrances and all of that is great. But when you experience it firsthand, where it all began in an eight generation perfume house in a city that's 3,000 years old, and then you buy that product, it has a very different feel to it. And the thing is that I believe that we are boutique and I would always want to stay in that segment and not get into any kind of mass production, uh, at any point. So I would want to keep this very limited. Like even if it's online, it'll be limited. Yeah.
Mhm. So right now, your plan is to sell these in Kannauj, and then moving forward, are you looking at more of an online presence, and how do you see the market evolving for Peekaboo?
So, online, of course, we cannot ignore it. So, we are going to be pushing our website. Then I do have a lot of people, general interest because, since I've been making fragrances for a lot of people internationally, I have interest in them. They have basically approached me to put Peekapoo products in their country, London being the first one. So, we will probably have some shelf space, a physical retail space in London. Then we are looking at expanding our retail physical space in India as well with good strategic tie-ups and with places that kind of resonate with the history, that I'm coming with. So online, of course, it's going to happen by the end of this month, but then we will be getting into international physical retail and domestically as well.
Mhm. So are you planning to work with other online platforms that are, let's say, focused on just perfumes and such unique products that are coming from India? Do you have any such plans, or are you working with folks like Flipkart? So do you? So what I'm trying to understand is whether you're going to the mass market or you're trying to keep this much more unique at this point.
So I'm not going to the mass market. This product is not for the mass market. It is a niche product, and there is going to be a certain price attached to it. So yeah, it's not for the masses. It's going to be very, like I said, very boutique and in limited quantities. Something that people should appreciate and cherish, and yeah, not easily available.
Yeah, I think
That's all I'm
it
saying.
makes sense because there's a lot of effort that goes into making these products,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
and these are very unique, and like you said, these are niche products, and so there's some time and effort that customers who would like to purchase this product also have to put in. And this is, I would say, a definitely unique products that are coming out from your company. So Pranav, it was great talking to you, and thanks for sharing this story with our viewers.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now. Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Pranav Kapoor. Let's now enjoy some Bollywood content here.
The lead star of the film, Sunny Deol, is anxious and excited about the sequel.
हम लोगों ने तो बनाई थी, लेकिन लोगों ने इसे गदर बना दिया था, और ऐसी गदर बनाई कि उसके बाद आसमान पे उठा दिया। और हमेशा डर लगता है कि एक पिक्चर जो इतनी कंप्लीट फिल्म हो उसे फिर से छेड़ा जाए, तो इसलिए मैं डर बहुत रहा था। लेकिन जब शर्मा जी ने मुझे कहानी सुनाई तो खैर वो गदर गदर थी। अभी उम्मीद करता हूँ ये गदर भी एक तरह से गदर बने, और ये तभी होगा जब आप लोगों को फिल्म पसंद आएगी, और मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि आपको ये फिल्म पसंद आएगी। जिस तरह से आप लोग रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं, जिस तरह से इसका पूरा माहौल बना हुआ है, पूरे देश में नहीं पूरी दुनिया में जहाँ जहाँ हमारे लोग हैं।
Sunny Deol has often been part of some dramatic and yet emotional movies in his career, be it films like Ghatak, Damini or Ghayal, or for that matter Gadar. Sunny says that the music of the film by Mithun too is very instrumental in adding to the narrative of the film and capturing the emotions of the character as much as the drama of the film is, and that is the USP of the movie Gadar 2.
कि फिल्म मुकम्मल एक होती है जिससे देखकर आदमी पूरा वो जोश के साथ निकलता है बाहर। कोई एक चीज़ नहीं होती, पूरे कैरेक्टर्स होते हैं जो उससे लेकर जाते हैं, और हादसे ऐसे होते हैं जहाँ पर इंसान लड़ता है और फिर फतेह पाता है, तो उसके बाद एक बात बनती है। तो गदर में भी, हमारी 2 में भी वैसा ही है। एंड में जाकर जिस तरह से एक सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलती है, तो मुझे पूरा यकीन है लोगों को बहुत पसंद आएगी।
Sunny says that people of India and Pakistan do love each other despite all the political differences and upheavals. There may have been wars between India and Pakistan, but the love of the people will remain as they are from the same land.
बात कुछ ले जाने की या लेने की और देने की बात नहीं होती। बात होती है कि एक इंसानियत की होती है कि झगड़े नहीं होने चाहिए, दोनों तरफ उतना ही प्यार है। ये सियासी खेल होता है जो ये सब नफरतें पैदा करता है, और वही आप देखेंगे इस फिल्म में भी। जनता नहीं कोई चाहती कि एक दूसरे के साथ हम झगड़े या लड़ें, बिकॉज आखिर हैं तो सब इसी मिट्टी से।
Gadar saw Sunny Deol go to Pakistan and get back the girl he loved, Sakina. Gadar too sees him go back to Pakistan to get back their son, who is in Pakistani custody, and he says that the anger of a father and the will to do things emanates from the wishes of a human being.
देखिए, जितने भी कैरेक्टर्स हम लोग प्ले करते हैं उसके अंदर हमारा हिस्सा ज़रूर होता है, तभी उसके अंदर जान भरी जाती है। तो जब कभी इस तरह की मुसीबत आए या कुछ ऐसी हो, तो इंसान के अंदर ऐसा खून अंदर जोश बढ़ जाता है कि आदमी कुछ भी कर सकता है।
दैनिक जागरण से
यही बात होनी चाहिए हर इंसान में।
Sunny Deol's box office trajectory has taken a beating in recent times, but the 65-year-old actor is now all set to change his destiny as well as box office history. Amisha Patel played the role of Sakina opposite Sunny Deol, who essayed the character of Tara Singh in Gadar. Amisha recollects the time when some of the biggest names in Bollywood dissuaded her from playing a mother in the Anil Sharma directed film Gadar.
मैं पहले तो कहना चाहूँगी कि सबसे बड़ा थैंक यू टू द मोस्ट फैबुलस बेस्ट co-star of mine, Sunny जी, जिनके साथ अगर मुझे कहा जाए कि आप स्कूल के नाटक में हम स्टेज पे पौधे बनते थे ना,
जी जी,
तो वो पौधे बन के भी रहो तो मैं हो जाऊंगी। बट अनिल जी जब ने मुझे पहली गदर की कहानी सुनाई थी, जब नितिन कैनी ने मुझे अप्रोच किया था, तब बहुत से लोगों ने, और मैं उनका नाम नहीं लेना चाहूँगी, लेकिन बहुत जाने मानी हस्तियाँ थी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के, बहुत बड़े लोग थे, बहुत बड़े जाने माने हस्तियाँ, सब ने कहा कि आप ये कैसे रोल करोगे और क्यों करोगे। सलमान खान के साथ मैं फिल्म कर रही थी, कॉलेज लड़की थी, अजय देवगन के साथ फिल्म करी थी, वो मेरे प्रोफेसर थे, मैं स्टूडेंट थी, वहाँ भी कॉलेज स्टूडेंट थी। ऋतिक के साथ 2 फिल्में कर रही थी, कहो ना प्यार है और आप मुझे लगने लगे, मैं कॉलेज स्टूडेंट थी। तो जब यहाँ मुझे ये सब्जेक्ट नरेशन किया था और कहो ना प्यार है रिलीज़ नहीं हुई थी, तो सबने कहा कि आप तो माँ का रोल कर ही नहीं पाओगे।
Amisha credits her maker and a lot of hard work in her managing to pull off the role of a mother so early in her career. Amisha had just made her debut a year ago in Kaho Na Pyar Hai.
ये challenges बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं। Instead of getting dejected, मैं एक challenge को, एक चुनौती को out of my comfort zone जाके अपनाना चाहती हूँ। And I had faith because I knew कि मेरे director जो है, he's brilliant. And इतनी खूबसूरत प्रेम कहानी शायद ना कभी लिखी थी और ना लिखेंगे कोई भी, तो मुझे हाँ करना ही था। यस, बहुत मुश्किल था, लेकिन अनिल जी पेशेंटली मेरे साथ बैठते थे लुक पे, हर चीज़ पे, कि तब मैं कैसे थोड़ी मैच्योर कॉलेज स्टूडेंट नहीं लगूं, थोड़ी एक माँ का रोल जैसे मैं लग जाऊं एक माँ। उन्होंने 6 महीने मेरे साथ लगातार डायलॉग्स पे, लुक पे, दिन रात हम लोग 12-12 घंटे बैठते थे।
Amisha also talked about the jibes of people in the film industry who spared no efforts in trying to dumb down the film, even calling it names. Amisha says that the challenge to play Sakina again in Gadar 2 wasn't really easy, but they managed to pull it off.
गदर के आने के पहले गदर को गटर कहा था, और ये दिल को मुझे बहुत छू गई थी ये बात, और मैंने बोला डिजेक्शन नहीं, ये मैं ज्यादा मेहनत करूंगी। जब गदर 2 की बात आई तो फिर से वही सवाल उठे कि डूड, हैव यू सीन योरसेल्फ ऑन इंस्टाग्राम? यू नो, लेजी लम्हे की लड़की अब कैसे गदर करेगी? हाउ विल शी प्ले अ मदर ऑफ अ 20+ ईयर बॉय? मैंने बोला फिर से वही सेम सवाल, फिर से वही चुनौती, मुझे करना ही है। अगेन थैंक्स टू माई डायरेक्टर, माई फैबुलस मेकअप टीम, जयवन जी, पूजा जी एंड ग्रॉकी हु वर्कड ऑन माई कॉस्ट्यूम्स। हम 20-20 घंटे लुक टेस्ट करते रहे और हम तस्वीरें भेजते थे अनिल जी को, और कुछ दिनों बाद जब हम सफल रहे मुझे थोड़ा सा और मैच्योर दिखाने के लिए फिल्म में, आई गॉट द मोस्ट ब्यूटिफुल मैसेज फ्रॉम अनिल जी सेइंग, my precious Sakina is back.
Amisha and the director Anil Sharma have been at loggerheads often, but then she says that she shares a father-daughter relationship with him.
He's a perfectionist. हमारे बीच में बाप बेटी का रिश्ता है, हम बहुत फाइट करते हैं।
क्यों?
बस ये मुझे नाराज करते रहते हैं।
ये
और मैं इनसे फाइट करती रहती हूँ। मैं इंस्टाग्राम पे ब्लॉक करती हूँ, उनको व्हाट्सएप पे ब्लॉक करती हूँ, फिर अनब्लॉक करती हूँ। ये हमारा रिश्ता है। एंड द मोस्ट ब्यूटिफुल पार्ट इज कि उत्कर्ष को फिल्म में मैं लाई थी, और मैं हमेशा अनिल जी को बोलती हूँ कि आपके दोनों बच्चे इतने खूबसूरत है कि अगर सकीना और तारा की बेटी भी होती तो आप अपनी बेटी दे दीजिए मुझे।
Amisha even produced a film called Desi Magic, which has not yet released, and the actress has been having a tumultuous time at the box office. Hopefully, Gadar 2 will change all that. Ayushmann Khurrana has been playing a variety of roles on screen, from being an action hero in a film with an eponymous title as well as the title role in Dream Girl to Dream Girl 2. While an action hero was a flop, Dream Girl seems to be a better bet for this versatile actor.
वक्त की बात है, कभी-कभी आप यूनिवर्स आपके मतलब इट्स लाइक जिक्सॉ पजल, आप वो पजल में फिट होना ज़रूरी है। दैट टाइमिंग वाज नॉट राइट मे बी। एट द सेम टाइम मुझे लगता है वो एक्शन हीरो यहाँ पर सारे जो मेरे इर्द गिर्द मर्द हैं फिल्म के अंदर, वो एक्शन की फिराक में पूजा के साथ, तो इसमें भी आपको अलग तरह का एक्शन की एस्पिरेशन का आपको देखने को मिलेगा।
Ayushmann had to undergo a certain weight loss for the film to nail the look of a female. Ayushmann plays a man as well as a man dressed as a woman in the film.
वो असेंबल्ड हूँ मैं, तो मतलब असेंबल्ड था मैं, तो इतना भी मुश्किल नहीं था, बस पतला होना था मुझे, बाकी तो असेंबली थी सबकी। हार्डवेयर गिरा नहीं, फिल्म के अंदर गिरा भी है वैसे, हाँ देखा।
अच्छा कहाँ तक? That is the question.
नहीं वो आपको ट्रेलर में नजर आया है, हार्ड मतलब वो कॉमेडी ऑफ एरर्स होगा इसमें। हाँ। और आपको नजर आएगा कैसे असेंबल्ड हूँ मैं पिक्चर के अंदर, और यही असेंबलमेंट से कैसे लोगों को मैं फिर से चकमा देता हूँ, अपनी आवाज से नहीं बल्कि अपनी लुक से भी।
लुक से भी।
Ayushmann joins an illustrious list of actors from Kishore Kumar to Kamal Hassan who have dressed up like women in their films, and he says he had a tough legacy to follow.
शुरू से ही मैं टॉक्सिक मैस्कुलिनिटी पे कटाक्ष करता आया हूँ और आई एम ग्लैड कि रॉकी रेन ये अच्छा कर रही है और टॉक्सिक मैस्कुलिनिटी को लेकर एक उन्होंने हमारे लिए एक अच्छा ग्राउंड कर दिया क्योंकि हमारा वो नेक्स्ट लेवल पे हम लेके जा रहे हैं अब 25 अगस्त को. सो आई थिंक इट्स ग्रेट फन, गुड टू सी पीपल हु आर एक्सेप्टिंग दीज काइंड ऑफ फिल्म्स जो सोशल कॉजेज़ पे या फिर जो एक स्टीरियोटाइप पर हम हमेशा कुछ कहने की कोशिश करते हैं. एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट द मैसेजिंग इन द फिल्म, इट्स मोर फन. यहाँ कॉमेडी ज़्यादा है और ऑफ कोर्स हमेशा इंस्पिरेशन मिलती है एक्टर्स लाइक कमल हासन सर इन चाची 420 या फिर गोविंदा जी इन आंटी नंबर 1. तो काफ़ी एक्टर्स ने, किशोर दा ने किया है एक टाइम पर. तो एक समय समय पर हर एक युग में ऐसे रोल करने के मौके मिले हैं एक्टर्स को एंड आई एम ग्लैड मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी ये मिली जिसके थ्रू आई थिंक बहुत कुछ कहने को भी है फिल्म के अंदर, बट इट्स ऑल इन अ वेरी लाइट हार्टेड फन वे.
Ayushmann says that the OTT has helped a lot of good films to do well, and that small towns are also coming to the fore nowadays as the backdrop in the movies.
I think OTT is a great revolution, and if I have to just go overboard with experimentation, OTT is the place. But yeah, it depends on the opportunities you get. And this is, I'm quite lucky and fortunate that I've gotten opportunities not just to portray different characters, but to showcase different subjects on the celluloid. And this is something which is again very unique, Dream Girl 2. And it is full mass entertainer. This is the first time I think this is going to be the massiest of all.
Ask Ayushmann for the qualities that he has looked forth in a dream girl, and this is what he has to offer. Ayushmann has not signed on too many films at the moment and will plan his career after the release of Dream Girl 2.
This has been a Now Media Network's feature presentation. All rights reserved.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resort.